In this case study, we're going to be talking about Sharon and Alana about some basic budgeting skills. We're not going to be using a spreadsheet, although I do have a spreadsheet to offer you. So, all Sharon's friends know who to turn to if they have money questions. She really has had a lot of summer jobs over the past 4 years. Now, her friend Alana said, I've only saved $56.47 over the past 3 years. And now my parents are asking me to pitch in $3,000 per year toward living expenses. And I'm used to working in a part time job and going to school, but I don't know. Budgeting seems like a good idea, but where do I start? So obviously, Alana really maybe has some things to work on to be able to save some money, especially if she has been working part time. So, what do you think some reasons might be that she's only managed to save a little bit? So, maybe she's a big spender. That's very possible. Maybe she didn't really have to save money. Like maybe she just was able to spend money that she made on whatever she needed at the time, or maybe she just had enough money. She wasn't buying that many things and she had enough. So now we're wondering what are Alana's goals going to be. Obviously, we know she wants to start saving money. So that's going to be goal number one. I think that's the thing to start focusing on. And she might have to, wait a minute, not spend more, spend less money, and maybe even make more money. Let me get that fixed up. There we go. Make more money. All right, money, money, money. We'll see what happens. So I think now Sharon is going to want to have her start tracking her expenses, maybe grouping her spending into categories, and then maybe save receipts to be able to keep track. So now after she starts telling her all the information, you got to get that spelling right on receipts, right? I before E, except after C. Okay, so here we go. So Sharon says you need to start saving your money for a month. So Alana collects all the receipts in a shoebox. You can use an envelope, and then they review those. So you can see that she has some fixed expenses and variable expenses. So, and then you have to decide, are they wants or needs? And you can look down this list and see, and then how much is being spent and how much income is actually coming in. Like, are you spending more than is coming in, if that's possible? Okay. Now, let's talk about how they're going to get this information organized. There's a template on the next page. You're going to get to give that a try with a spreadsheet, so don't worry about that. You're going to get to try it out. I just found the spreadsheets easier, so we'll talk about that. Okay, so look at that list, which things are wants or needs, and we're going to be calculating up the monthly cost and then the percentage of total cost. And so the formula for that is the monthly cost divided by total costs multiplied by 100. And that'll give you the percentage of total costs. And it's then going to be time to sort out the different expenses into the chart. Now, this chart is a little limited. You can go ahead and type in it. I'm using a PDF program, Cami, or we could have it printed. I found that I like to use a spreadsheet. So when you use a spreadsheet, that has formulas, you can be a lot more assured that you're not going to make mistakes in math and things like that, but you do need to understand how it's working. So you'll have a copy of this spreadsheet, and what you're going to want to do is change it for yourself. But to see how it works, you can see that Alana had a coffee 10 times at $4 each. So she spent $40, and that's going to be a lot of money for her. And that was 7.9% of her total. And she's saying, wait a minute, if I have spent all this money, but I'm working so much, why don't I have enough to, put some savings away? But Sharon says, let's really take a look at this. If you're working 15 hours a week at 11 hours or $11 an hour, that's $165 a week, minus, remember, 30% for taxes and deductions, about $49.50. So her net pay would be $115.50 a week. And if that amount were to work out for the whole month, then she would be making about $461 in a month. And it says that her expenses were $504. So now, what's going to happen. It's going to come down to the fact that she's spending more than she's bringing in, and she wants to be saving $3,000. So Why would she not want to bring that up to her boss? That seems kind of obvious, right? Let's move on to the last part here and think about what's going to happen with Alana. What are some options that she might have to save this $3,000? She could work extra, that's for sure. But she doesn't sound like she wants to do that. And I think we really do have to come up with what her goals are. And so obviously for her to start saving, maybe she could work more and or she could spend less. She has to think about what the pros, cons, and consequences of all those are, of course, and also what's in her control and what's not. So she can cut spending in specific areas. When we look back, maybe she could have less coffee. She could cut down on the amount of trips. She could pack food. She could buy less clothes. You really are going to be making some decisions in that gray area about wants and needs here, but your needs are going to be the ones that you budget for first. So, what else here? She is obviously going to weigh the pros and cons and consequences, and she's going to think about the things she can and can't control. Is her money working for her? Not right now, it doesn't sound like it, except for if she's enjoying the things she's buying. Remember that. But what can she control? She can control her spending, she can control the amount she saves away. Is she going to be able to do it? It's hard to say. Let's see what she can control. She can't control how many more hours she's going to be getting. She cannot control if her wage is going to increase in order for her to save more money. So she's really going to have to, balance the amount of work hours she's willing to do for the amount of money that she wants to be putting away. I wonder if she's going to be able to do it. It's hard to say. It takes a lot of patience. Starting with a good goal is going to be something to really get everybody off on the right foot. And then look, Alana's boss also suggests direct deposit. You can have money sent right to your savings account. And also, when your money gets put into your account automatically, it's a little easier to track your spending, but also to stick to your budget because there's more thinking about every single purchase you're going to be making because there's no cash involved. You have to use your card every time. So keep that in mind, direct deposit.